So, do you ever come across something that is so mind-bogglingly cool or incredible, and you find out this is a real story, and you're like, why have they not made a movie about this yet?
Actually, I have.
Well, I came across it's been eating at me for weeks. I gotta tell you about this and how pissed I am that they haven't made a movie about this yet.
Don't go watch this. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in 30 seconds. Go watch.
Lazyboys night.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Look at the color of that. What the hell are we drinking?
It looks very hazy, doesn't it?
What?
It looks very. You can't see through that. It's a nice light yellow.
What? Look at the image.
This. Oh yeah. This is Road Trip IPA by Nickle Brewing Company. You know, Nickle does some good stuff.
Hey, wait a minute, dude. Just put up the like you always do.
The Westphalia.
Folks. Take the time, dude, in a couple of seconds, he's going to put up the image of this can. Take the time of looking at the actual drawing, the animation on it, and then you'll realize why this is so hazy.
Look at the windows. The windows are yellow.
It's up now.
The windows are yellow. They're hazy. And it's a cloud coming out. Oh.
God.
Smells nice.
Oh.
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Cheers, dude. Breakfast beer. Total breakfast beer.
It's got a slightly more bitter than some of the breakfast beers we have, but it still blends beautifully well. It's a good balance.
Eggs Benny, man.
Oh,
classic Eggs Benny. Nice roasted potatoes.
Oh yeah, with a breakfast beer. Oh yeah, absolutely every time.
Yes.
Good job, Nickle Brook, as usual.
Wow, yeah, Nickle Brook are pretty good for that.
They are. We're blessed with a lot of great microbrews.
We are. Like, folks, we joke often about being in the Hollywood Hills because we don't always. We want to be international, but when we're talking about our region. For realsies, right? So it's called the Ottawa Valley.
Where the city of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, the capital, it's the whole valley around us.
The Ottawa Valley, the bowl, if you will.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We've talked about this before, but we have so many craft brews / microbrews. Same thing, different language. But we are truly blessed with just how much
variety and quality.
Variety. Merci beaucoup. But it just really shows in the Ottawa Valley how many freaking alcoholics functioning.
Well, it is the national capital, so you got a lot of politicians here.
So, you guys hear it on the news, we see it live, so we got to get pissed drunk.
All right.
No, we are blessed. We have a lot of different places. We have so many different places that we enjoy picking up beers, and we're lucky because we can actually go on site at these microbreweries and go in and pick the stuff that it's not
a lot of samples on tap. You can just try a little bit. Ooh, this is nice. I'll buy a 6-pack of that. Ooh, this is nice.
Check out in your own area, wherever you are. And I know, dude, he's told us so many times, we know for a fact that the great majority of our listeners are Americans, and we enjoy the fact that you watch our show and the fact you're even interested in what's going up, what's going up in the Great White North.
Elbows up.
But I know, not for them, they don't even know what the hell that means. Well, unless they're watching hockey, they know what it means. But check out your own area, I'm sure, because I know the northern states are huge on microbreweries, craft brewers.
National brands, microbrews. I'm sure there's a lot of quality all over there. we know Northern New York has great microbrews.
Yeah.
So
you guys
I'm
have
sure they're all over
tons
the
of
place.
stuff. Check it out. It's worth.
All right.
Most of the times you'll get beers that you don't get anywhere else.
I need to go back to my subject because
I'm digressing.
Yes,
on beers.
you are.
No, sorry. This is Nickle Brook's fault, man. This is an awesome beer,
It
and
is.
all I want to do is talk about beers right now.
All right.
You know what? We're gonna have a show. We're gonna talk just about beers. Not right now, because he's got stuff to say, and I'm actually intrigued.
Have you ever come across a piece of history and you're thinking, why didn't I learn this in school? Why do we not everybody know who this person is?
Yes, all the time.
I need to tell you the incredible story.
You have notes and you're using your glasses. There's
a lot of detail. It's epic.
That is epic.
Yeah, but every detail is important. This is how epic this guy is. Okay?
Okay, full disclosure, I legitimately have no idea what he's going to be talking about. So I'm just as intrigued as you are. Dude, no?
No. I prepared this one on my own.
You're not even involved at all. Great. So you can't pop anything up. He's just going to talk. Okay.
I want to tell you the story about Léo Major. Excuse me, Léo Major.
Oh.
He born in Montreal, French Canadian.
Okay.
Okay?
Le beau Léo.
At age of 19, it's 1940. World War II is happening. He enlists. You know, basic training, posts here and there. His first major action was at the Normandy landing on June 6, 1944.
That's his first?
That's his first major action.
Off?
Yeah. Before that, it was like little posts here and there.
Yeah.
His first major combat action. So, first thing he did is he distinguished himself as a scout immediately on D-Day by capturing German soldiers carrying a secret code books. He shot a few down, captured one, had the secret code books. Now, what he did is he forced them to drive their tank back over to the Allies' side. As they're approaching the Allies, well, the Brits and the Canadians, well, they just see a German tank coming at them. So they keep firing and firing and firing at the tank.
Important thing to know, during this conflict, we don't call it wars anymore. We can't. It's a conflict.
What?
Brits and... Yeah, they call it conflicts now, dude.
It's a war!
So during
World
this
War II!
So during this war...
Not World Conflict II!
Canadians, being part of the Commonwealth, and the British Dominion, we fought side by side
with the British. Okay. So
it's important. We have American friends watching.
So they're driving the tank back towards Allied lines, but the Canadians and Brits, all they see is a German tank coming, and they keep shooting and starting to send like big artillery mortars and stuff. So what does he do? He climbs out on top of the tank, exposing himself so that the Allies will notice, hey, maybe we can distinguish the Canadian uniform from the German uniform, and banking that he doesn't get killed before somebody notices him.
What the hell?
They do, and they stop firing. Now, when they cross the lines, he hands over the German captives, and a British officer asks for the secret code books. He says, no. He says, a Quebec man caught the books, a Quebec officer's going to get those books. So he told the British officer to screw off, and he took it back to his regiment and gave it to his commanding officer.
I resist Quebec.
Yeah. now, this seems bad, but this is nothing compared to what's about to happen. This is like just perusing the menu. You haven't even tasted anything about this.
Okay, wait. Where does this story stem from? Like, why do you know this, and where did you hear this? Give us some context.
I was watching a YouTube video at one point about, because there's obviously right now there's a lot of things happening with American politics, and it's this American guy who is reacting to Canadian things. And at one point, there's a bit on Canadian part in World War II, because Americans think they won World War II by themselves. No offense to American viewers who are actually educated and they know it was a global effort, but a lot of Americans think they're the only heroes on the planet.
Yeah. No, because when they joined, they figured that's when it stopped. But there's
so much going on.
Years and years.
And this guy was learning about Canada's part in World War II, and on this video, Léo Major is mentioned, and I was like, what? I need to more. So I looked him up and I found out more about him, okay?
Okay.
Now, a few days after this happens, He's scouting again. He was a scout. That
Okay,
was his
so
job.
a few days. So obviously, hey,
Yeah,
worked
that's
well,
nothing.
and he brought the book, and he's good, and
Yeah.
then he's going for his next mission.
On a scale of 1 to 10 on how badass this guy is, that's a 0.5.
Okay.
Not even a 1. That's
I
a
have
0.5.
literally never
Yeah,
heard this
yeah.
name before.
So a few days later, he's scouting and he comes across an elite SS troop. The SS were basically the German. Considered today, that would be ICE in the States. Okay,
Yeah.
the cops who think they can do anything and blah blah blah. So a firefight breaks out. He manages to kill 4 of them before a phosphorus grenade blasts right off near his face, and he gets blinded in one eye. It's not permanent damage. The eye needs to heal. This phosphorus is like a bright flash.
Yeah.
All right. Now at this point,
It's like if you're playing a video game, it's a flashbang.
yeah, pretty much. But it went right off in his face.
Yeah.
So
Flash, bang. Yeah.
So they put on an eye patch for the eye to heal, and he joked that he looked like a pirate, and he played with that a lot. He was like a pirate. But he could have been sent home. But he refused, saying he only needed one good eye to aim a rifle. And he went back to work. Now, not long after, he's involved in a month-long battle, the month-long battle of Scheldt. Dude, right there, Scheldt in Holland. All right? This is where he starts to get really badass. And this is not even the most badass story yet. So during this month-long battle, at one point he's a scout. He's asked to go scouting for 15 missing zombies. A zombie back then is a term for a rookie soldier
Who's just roaming about.
because they don't know what they're doing. Right? They're
Okay.
freaking out. Boom. 15 of them are missing. So he's sent out scouting for them. He goes out alone. Now here's a funny side note. Unlike every other soldier, he doesn't wear combat boots. He would wear PT sneakers. Dude, put up a picture of what those look like. They kind of look like Converse.
What?
Because they make less sound. I wonder if that's why they're called sneakers, because you would sneak around
You
on them.
sneak. Oh, damn,
I don't know
man.
if that's true, but
That would make total sense.
He would wear these because they made less noise than the rubber
Sneakers,
boots.
so you can sneak up.
All right. Now
That's
he's-
a lot of research
yeah.
for you.
So he's deep behind enemy lines. It's the middle of the night, and back then, remember, it's World War II. Towns would turn off all their lights so that aerial raids could not know where to drop bombs. So it's pitch black, okay? No lights. There's cold rain falling. He's cold, he's wet. He's pissed off at the Germans and everything. And he comes across a garrison of German troops that fell asleep in the trench they dug. They've been digging hard all day. They're sleeping. They need some rest. They're deep inside enemy lines, so these guys are not the front line. They don't need to be alert.
Yeah.
All right?
Never.
He approaches a sleeping German officer, and he wakes him up at gunpoint. And he tells the officer to order his men to follow him. Now, a few Germans, they fire back, of course, but he's quick on the... kills them, and everybody else is like, okay, we give up. He starts walking these men back, okay, towards enemy lines. They're discovered by SS troops, who start shooting at them with heavy artillery. He starts shooting back. Boom, 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 boom. He kills a bunch of the SS. They run off. He walks back with the survivors of the garrison and the few SS troops he's captured.
Is this okay? Wait. No. Okay. I need to know. Is this based? Did he write a book?
No. This is true. Witnesses, everything. This is corroborated. This is official.
That's
this
what
is
I mean.
official
Like,
military.
this dude wrote a book after.
No.
He's talking about his.
This is officially corroborated by everything. So, dude, he walked back. Guess how many German soldiers he walked back by himself to the Allied line?
So everybody that was sleeping in the trenches.
And a few of the SS. Oh, yeah.
So we're probably talking about at least minimum 30 to 40 people.
93.
What the frick, man? That's more than a platoon.
He walked back 93 German soldiers by himself in the middle of the night towards Allied lines.
What?
Yeah, this is not even the most badass part thing he's done.
How is that even possible?
On a scale of 1 to 10, this is about a 4 of what he's done. All right?
Holy
93, he walks by himself in pitch black.
How this guy? He must have statues in Quebec somewhere, man.
I'm sure he does.
He's guaranteed this dude, man.
Okay,
what?
so let me continue just the attitude. You're gonna love this part. So he's awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal, which is the second highest medal you could get at the time. The first one I think is I forget what it is, but you could only get it under specific conditions. Anyways, he refused the medal. He refused it because the British general that was awarding him the medal, he thought the guy was a moron and completely incompetent, so he didn't want to get the medal from that guy. You gotta love the attitude. Freaking love the respect. Now, and all this time, don't forget, he's got an eye patch too. He's only got one eye. He's walking around in sneakers.
All my image of this guy, I need to, is there photos of this guy?
Yeah, so do put up the photos before and after the eye patch.
Because this all I can think about, without seeing the photo, I'll look at it after this episode. I'll go check it out because you guys have seen it before I do. But all I can think is about this Québécois man with the smoke, and I'm thinking, "Magaine tabarnak, ici, on vous arrange ça, ta gueule!"
Now, February 1945, he's on a small troop carrier vehicle.
Okay.
They hit a mine. Boom. Everybody on board gets killed except him. He gets broken ribs, 2 broken ankles, broke his back in 3 places. He refused to be sent home. He went to Belgian hospital, recovered for a couple months, and then went right back to freaking work. This is how badass this guy is. Hang on. He joins this regiment just in time for their final mission to rid Holland of German occupiers. Okay, at this point, he's stationed in Holland. Holland is occupied by Germans. Now, this is where the real badass story starts.
All I can think about is how much Rambo is such a... Bleep this out. Rambo's a f***ing
Oh, he is totally... Dude, and this isn't even the best part yet.
Holy
So think about it. He's got a freaking eye patch, broken everywhere, all alone.
I'm going back
in.
Tabarnak.
So, April 13th, 1945. The Allies are just outside of the town of Zwolle. Zwolle in Belgium. All right, they're getting ready to attack. But the thing is, they are not sure what the German deployment is. They don't know how many German soldiers are in there, where they're located, where the civilians are, blah, blah. And they don't want to bomb the wrong people. You don't want to kill a bunch of civilians and boom. So they send him and one of his friends as scouts. Okay? So Leo and his friend Corporal Willie Arsenault, they're sent to scout. Again,
William Arsenault.
Again, it's pitch black, right? All the lights are off, towns, they don't want to get air raid bombs, boom, boom, boom. Now, the town is supposed to be bombed in the morning regardless. They're there to find out and help select targets. Now, Leo doesn't want civilians to get killed, of course, he's a good guy. So they're scanning around. Willie is not wearing sneakers, and Willie's carrying the bag that has all the grenades in it. And it makes noise. He gets spotted. He gets killed by gunfire. Leo's pissed. Leo immediately kills the 2 Germans who, boom, 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 chased off a few others, but basically clears the area. He takes Willie's machine gun. So now he's got his machine gun, he's got Willie's machine gun, and he's got this bag of grenades. He's got an eye patch. He's wearing running shoes, sneakers.
Oh my God.
A German vehicle, a scout car, drives by. He jumps out, hijacks the car, gets the driver to drive him to his commanding officer, who's in a bar somewhere. Gets to the freaking bar. The German officer there also speaks French. Talks to the German officer. First, takes his gun. Tells the German officer that the town is going to be bombed in the morning. And this to me is unbelievable. As an act of good faith, he gives the German officer his gun back and he tells him to leave, hoping the German officer will take all the soldiers with him. The officer leaves, takes a bunch of people with him, but not all of them. So what does Leo do? Well, he's now got his machine gun, he's got Willie's machine gun, he's got the machine gun from the driver from the car,
bag of grenades.
and a bag of grenades.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the night, and pitch black cover of darkness, he runs all over frickin' town, shooting anything that moves, blowing up crap to convince the Germans that the Allies are invading now. He's literally a one-man army.
Holy frick,
As
man.
he's doing this, whenever he come across German troops, he'd shoot to kill. And anytime anybody gave up, blah, 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 when he got about 8 to 10 captives, he'd walk them back to the Allied lines, which is just outside town, restock, and go back in alone. He did this 10 times throughout the night. 10 times throughout the night, he would just blow up by himself, grab German soldiers, walk them back to the front lines, give them up, go back in by himself.
That's like the best Chuck Norris movie ever.
Okay? Occasionally he'd force himself into civilian homes because he needed a rest, and the civilians freak out at first. Oh, he's Canadian, okay, help him, here's some food, blah, blah, blah. Go back out there. Now, at one point, he found the Gestapo headquarters, burned it to the ground. He found the SS headquarters, engaged in a firefight, killed 4 SS troops in there. There weren't that many people because it's the middle of the night, boom. At one point, he comes across the Dutch resistance because they're like, what is going on, right? Boom, boom, boom. When he tells them what's happening, they go out and they get the rest of the resistance. And basically, by 4:30 in the morning, every single German has fled because of this guy. So Leo tells them, you've been liberated. He alone liberated an entire freaking town with 3 machine guns and a bag of grenades and balls this big.
And with crazy cardio.
Okay.
Holy frick, going non-stop.
Then he goes back to Willie's body that's still on the side of the road, picked him up and walked him back to the Allied lines, carried him there. In the morning, the Allies actually start coming into town. Not a single shot was fired, not a single civilian was injured, because Leo liberated the freaking town by himself. He was awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal again. This time he accepted it. And then when the war's over, he just goes back home to his regular job as a pipe fitter. Now, Leo's story's not done. This is World War II.
Freak, man.
1950, Korean War. Leo's 29, but he's considered a veteran with special skills, and he's recruited to fight Korea as part of the Special Scout and Sniper team.
Whoa. This whole thing in World War II,
Yeah.
he was in his early 20s.
Yeah.
He pulled all that stuff off.
In his early to mid-20s. Yeah.
What are you doing with your life?
I know, right?
What are you,
So
leave that game alone. Leave that. Drop the remote.
go out and kill some real bad
Right
guys.
now, I don't care if you stop watching this show. Drop it. Go outside. Breathe some fresh air. Find yourself a freaking job. Get your life together.
So basically, he was 24 when he did this.
Holy frick, man.
So now it's 1950. Leo's 29. He's considered a veteran, like I said, with special skills. He's recruited.
They are the best generation,
by the way. When he's recruited, he's now part of the Van Deuce.
Oh, I was going to talk about the Van Deuce.
Yeah, if you don't know about the Van Deuce, the 22nd Regiment, which was basically French Canadians, they had a reputation during the war of no holds barred. When people found out the Van Deuce were coming, they gave up.
So,
and Leo probably contributed to that.
Le 22e Régiment, the Van Deuce, they are for real, legitimately the reason why Canadians at war have the confidence and the rest of the world are afraid. As soon as you have a troop coming out of Quebec,
oh yeah,
and I'm talking about the Québécois
made people
coming in somewhere,
oh yeah,
people shake in their boots, and it's because of the 22e Régiment.
Yep. So it's
look that up. You'll have a blast.
He joined in 50. Now in November 51, there's a strategic hill outside of Seoul, Korea. It's nicknamed Little Gibraltar. This is a very, very strategic hill to hold. The Americans lost it. So what do? They send in the Van Deuce to get it back.
Holy.
Leo had 18 men under his command only. Just 18 guys. They went and they were under heavy attack for like 3 days. They were ordered to retreat, but Leo just said, refused to retreat, and just kept frickin' fighting. One point he radioed the artillery to keep bombarding the area, even though they were in the area.
This is the actual Inglorious Bastards.
Oh yeah. They could have been bombed themselves, but he's just like, we are not retreating. We are here or we're gonna die. Boom. Keep shooting. And apparently the mortar barrels that were shooting over on that hill shot so often, so quickly, that the barrels would heat up, turn red, and start to warp because of the constant barrage. And him and his men are right in the middle of this with the frickin' Koreans getting blasted, and he's just not giving up. Eventually, after 3 days, they captured the hill and held it. This story's not quite as cool as liberating a town by yourself, but nonetheless.
Holy
I know.
jeez, man.
So
when that's your bar.
I know. Once again, he's awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal. He's the only Canadian to have won that medal in 2 separate wars. To this day, nobody else has done that. Now, he passed away in 2008 at the age of 87. He was married for 57 years, had 4 kids. And here's something funny. First of all, his nickname in the war, because of the eye patch, he was known as the One-Eyed Ghost. Because he'd sneak in, do stuff, and come back. But what amazed me is I looked him up directly afterwards. And there was a video of him in 1995, which was the 50th anniversary of the end of the war.
Yeah.
He's being interviewed by a French reporter. He was back in Belgium in that town Zwolle that he had liberated.
Wow.
And first of all, real down-to-earth guy. He just call me Leo. Everybody in town knows who he is. They call him Leo. They love him. There's a street, like one of the major boulevards is named after him. We do put up a picture of the roadside.
Wow.
Anyways, but here's how modest this guy is. They asked him, is this the first time you're back in Zwolle since the war? He said, no, I came back for the 25th anniversary back in 1970. He says, my wife came with me back then. And so they asked about his wife. And he said, it's funny. He goes, my wife knew I was a soldier. She never knew what I did. When they got there in 1970, his wife was just expecting that he would be a veteran, part of the celebrations. Yeah. The reigning monarch at the time, I don't know who it was, greeted them personally, invited them over. They stayed at the frickin' palace. And he said they were treated like royalty the entire time they were there. And that's when his wife found out what he did. At this point, he's been married for years. And it's like, he was a soldier. No. You are a freaking hero. He went back to being a freaking pipe fitter.
Yeah.
This guy. So my question is, why?
There's never been a movie about this guy?
But not just that. Why did I never learn about this guy in school? It's like
a movie.
I know.
Like
this is the real Rambo. He makes Rambo look like a like you said.
Yeah. It's like every single action movie I've ever seen. I made a reference to Inglourious Bastards, and when even that.
Yeah.
This isn't. What was? We talked about the Ministry of
Gentlemanly Warfare. Yeah.
Yes. So that was based on actual people doing that stuff, and that's the same kind of respect that should be given this guy.
Here's my issue: is every now and then. The CBC, that's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, there's a news story on him every now and then. More then than now.
Yeah.
But still, nobody knows who the frick this guy is. And what annoys me is, this guy should be part of our Canadian cultural heritage. Everybody,
sure.
I mean no disrespect when I say this, when I talk to Americans. I'm going to take the example of Paul Revere.
Yep.
Every American knows the Midnight Ride, the British are coming. Not to discredit what he did, but here's the thing: Paul Revere was there was a bunch of other people who also did what he did. And what he did, yes, he alerted people, but he basically rode at night yelling, "The British are coming," and that made him a hero that is still known 200 plus years later. This guy, why is he not part of our identity as a Canadian? Yeah. Why does not every kid know freaking Léo Major? There should be songs, movies, everything about this guy.
Dude, you know what it is? Is less today, once upon a time. And I'm talking, let's go back even just 20 years ago. Is that how Leo was regarding what he's done, that even his wife did not know. That is the Canadian identity.
Not bragging about it.
We don't do that.
We don't brag about it.
We don't do that. And we're worse than the British for that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, if you're talking about what the Canadian identity is,
It's self-effacing. We're just like...
it's a mix of the British, it's a mix of the French, it's the mix of our First Nations, and that mix, and then we started having different European countries, people coming into Canada, and it evolved from there. But I mean, that holding in and not, that is the British side of Canadians, is like, we don't talk about it.
No.
We've done this, we don't talk about it, and we should.
We should
Because
talk about
Americans, right? You guys know, you guys brag about everything, and you should, and that's great. And if we have to
Oliver
learn,
did something important. I'm not diminishing what he did.
if
but I'm
Canadians
just saying,
had something
Léo
to
Major
learn from
needs
Americans,
to be known.
holy shit, that's one thing we should learn, is to be proud of what we've done, proud of the accomplishments of the people before us, and proud of what they accomplished.
In light of what you just said now, I had this conversation about when I first found about Léo with other people, and I said, why do we not know about this? And somebody said, because he's not American.
Yeah, if this guy was
if
American,
Léo was American,
there'd be like 30 films.
there'd be Léo Major Day would be a national holiday, and everything would know about him.
That's what I mean. They celebrate that. They celebrate accomplishment.
Anyway,
they celebrate heroes. We don't do that.
We have them. We just don't know
them.
them. And here's the thing, Léo, you passed a long time ago. But
and to his family,
his
anybody
descendants,
who's still around, all the
and every other guy, soldier out there, Canadian soldier who might not have done what Léo did, but nonetheless put their lives on the line and did what they could to make this a free world. I salute you all.
I
Léo,
salute you as well. Everything you've ever done, we don't celebrate enough. We don't. What's the word I'm looking for? We don't embrace the impact we've had on the world stage, the sacrifices that were made by Canadians.
Sadly, I think it's because we're not aware of them.
No, because again, it goes right back to our British heritage of being holding everything in.
Remembrance Day, November 11th, you guys, I think Americans call it Veterans Day or something like that.
Exactly.
Remembrance Day in Canada. I'm going to be looking at that very different this year after having heard this story. And there's other great Canadian heroes out there too. I can't name them all. We could do a whole podcast.
The 11th month, on the 11th hour, on the 11th day, on the 11th hour.
Yeah. Anyways,
so that's an amazing story.
I know.
And for real,
I'm sending out any filmmaker out there who wants a real story. This guy needs his story told. I'm told apparently there's a documentary about it, but I'm talking about something that'll actually attract people in a crowd.
Like the movie I was talking about.
Yeah, Ministry of Gentlemen of Warfell.
See?
Those guys are real American heroes. Well, British, my apologies.
Yeah,
real British heroes. This is the Canadian version. And I think you will agree, these exploits are beyond.
And dude,
beyond.
Any movie ever, if you're thinking about Slapshot, throw in a few Quebecois in there. It will be an epic movie.
Epic. Now,
all you need to do is throw a few Quebecois, French Canadians in there, and your movie and your show, it becomes awesome.
Now, that being said, subscribe, like and share.
That.
Léo would do it.
If you've been holding on and you've been watching for this long, you should be subscribing by now. I'm like,
I'm not even half done. I know.
I'm like, that's an amazing story, dude.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're gonna let you go. Go do other stuff now. Go outside. Go breathe air. Go touch the grass.
Find out more about
whatever the hell, but look into it. Right? We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude.